me is what do you think is the role of the family in healing the world? Especially, I mean, I know you have done a lot with women. Do you think this is, because sometimes it can be a cliche, do you think this is actually something that we should believe? Can the family actually heal the world? What do you think, ma'am?
Oh, absolutely. If going from my speech, and again, what everyone has reiterated here, I'm sure the family is the first for every child, is every first. So when they say charity begins at home, that home is family. So when the family is intentional about how they raise their kids, these children are who turn into the leaders of tomorrow. And that's the tomorrow that we're seeing today. So when the family is intentional about the core values that they instill in a child, that's what now leads to who they are tomorrow. And so I believe that when the family is intentional about the children that they're spurning out there, that they're putting out to society, that helps to heal all of the ills in the society. So it's the family's responsibility to present a platform that these children are raised on so that they become valuable members of our society tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. Please, can we put our hands together? Please, you need to learn to use your hands when I'm here, okay? Can we put our hands together for her? I'm going to still stay with you, ma'am. In the olden days, there were a lot of intentionality put into this. I remember, I mean, I do a lot of research across Africa. I know that, in the south part of Nigeria, I think maybe it's Cross River or Akwa Ibom, there's a fattening room which prepares the young girls for adulthood. I don't know if that still exists. What do you think has gone wrong? Because right now, it's in fact across social media in the last 3 weeks, it's been one divorce or the other. One man cheating on his wife, the woman one is cheating on her husband. It's just a free for all. And the younger generation are asking, they're saying things like marriage is overrated, love is overrated. What my question will be, what do you think has gone wrong in your opinion about the way we prepare children compared to the olden days? Yes.
Um, so when I was sitting beside the wife of the SSG, we made a comment about when Dr. Pasadara talked about taking a village. You know how they say it takes a village to raise a child. That village is now non-existent. Now you can't even talk to someone's child and they'll say, "Who sent you?" Or God forbid, you even spank them and their parents, even teachers at school. So that village that we used to have that helped to groom a child is no longer there. So now parents are being so overwhelmed with work and other matters that they're not, like she said, they're available, they're around, but they're not present. So I feel like this also speaks to the core of these things because if you don't have a mother, like you talked about the fattening room, you're learning culture, you're learning tradition, you're learning how to take care of your husband, how to prepare meals. And these are things that are now traditional and the new generation feel like, I mean, I'm a young person myself, and the new generation feels like these things are not as important. Oh, please, we'll wing it, we'll be okay, we'll marry your friend. Like these things are not things that will still keep a marriage. So I feel like because the family unit is not as strong as it used to be, parents are not as hands-on as they used to be, the village is no longer there. So there's no uncle, there's no auntie, there's no grandmother who would sit you down and tell you, "Oh, in my days, this is what I used to do, how I used to take care of my husband, how I used to take care of my parents." Even the governor of Akwa Ibom State is always hammering on respecting elders. Those cultures and values are no longer being drummed into our children. And so it translates to marriage as well. When you don't get an example from your mother on how to raise or how to keep a home, or it's now seen as, "Oh, we're equal, we both work, so it's not my duty alone to keep a home." So norms like that are missing. And I think that there's just a gap between how our parents used to raise us and how we are now raising our children, me inclusive. So I feel like we've left a lot to social media, we've left a lot to, things that like television and like my children. Again, Dr. Dara spoke about this. When I make sure that I monitor how long they spend on their phones or on their tablets. I have family links with their systems that whenever they download anything, I see it on my phone. As a matter of fact, they ask for permission from a parent, which is how their phones are set up. If they want to download anything, a game, an app, anything on YouTube, it would prompt me on my phone sitting right here that, oh, Nathan wants to download something. Do you approve? And I say yes or I say no. If I don't know what it is, I ask him, Nathan, what are you trying to download? And he will tell me, oh, it's a game or it's something. What is it for? And then I approve it. So I feel like this intentionality is missing, and it translates into marriage and how young women are now prepared to go into their marital homes.
Wow. Please come put your hands together for her. I mean, I'm just totally blown away with your busy schedule. You're still able to do this. I'm going to come down back to you shortly because I want us to narrow it down to what Akwa Ibom State is doing, especially the Office of the First Lady. How can we build a system that can be a national model? I'll come back to that. But let me come to my friend. Police is my friend. You guys, can you say police is our friend? No, say this police is our friend.
Police is our friend.
Because we,
General police is our friend.
we need to be sure that general police, the police in Lagos, my Lagos people, is police our friend. Anyway, we have a new IG, and he's a good man. I grew up in Nigeria, so I know him very well. So we believe that there will be police reforms in this time. Okay, now as a police officer, you encounter society at this breaking point, right? I mean, can you shoot a gun?
Of course I can. I was trained to do that. So
really?
I can very well.
You know, this thing is not easy. The day I went to gun range, I live in the US. When I fired the first shot, the noise, I ran out. I said, see, my lineage is not called to this kind of thing. All right, so as a police officer, you encounter society at its breaking point: violence, abuse, crime, addiction, broken trust. From your own experience, how deeply connected are these issues to what happens inside family?
Okay, thank you so very much. Please permit me to appreciate the person you last spoke about, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Tonji Disu, that gave this permission for me to be here today. You know, I can't come on my own.
I know.
Delta State is far. So he had to give this approval. Please join me to give him a round of applause. A reformer. Thank you so very kindly. Yes, why did he give me the permission in line with your question? By the grace of Almighty God, we know as parents, as security operatives, we have failed. Who did we fail? We fail ourselves and the generation next. Referring to what the First Lady said, she said, growing up, they used to say, it takes a community to raise a child. How are they doing it? We had this community parenting, intentional parenting, where every child belongs to every household, where a mother could walk by, see you not properly dressed, and call you back. Oh, Temi, how are you? Where's your mom? Is she aware you are dressed like this? Will you kindly run back into the house and get a change of clothes? And the next thing you see is this child running because she knows if she does not comply, things will happen beyond our control. Unfortunately now, we have parents that will go with ring lights to the family that try to correct their erring child to go and fight. And you will see it on social media, it's going live. Because your picking no fine. Because your picking no look as good as my own. My daughter is going out, I bought it for her. That's how I want her to look. And you are fighting. That is what brought us to where we are today. By the grace of Almighty God, within Delta and around, I think, 18 states of the Federation, we've been able to go around rebuilding families, talking to teachers and parents. And we've been to over 185 schools. What are we doing? We are catching our children young on the right path. How do we catch them young? We make them feel important because we discover that family has failed. Parents have failed. I'll give you an example of a child growing up. I'll use myself. My dad once told me, you're only tall. You are not special. Wow. And every man that comes around you is coming to you because he wants to know what a tall girl tastes like in bed. You know, when a father says this to you, it gives a different meaning to it. He once wrote me a letter and he said, men are like butterfly. They fly from flower to flower. When they are done with the nectar of one, they go to another one. I still have the letter for over 30 years. And do you know what this did to me? When you come to me, it comes to me that, oh, this one don't come. It won't contest waiting the nectar feels like. And it helped model that growing up, tame that growing up. My mom told me, look at yourself in the mirror. Tell yourself, one day you will sit on stages. Will you be talking on TV and somebody will be pointing? That one I don't chop him. That one I don't sleep with him. So I brought that example because it built my confidence. It made me know who I was growing up and who I am today. And how many parents have the time to look at their daughters in the face and tell them, my darling, you are the perfection of God. You're so beautiful. Because unfortunately in the line of duty, sir, we discovered that most of these girls that are, maybe abused in a way or the other, went in voluntarily because they will say, that's the first, my girl once told me, that's the first guy that told me I'm beautiful. Is that not a family failure? A parental failure? If you cannot build value and self-confidence in your children, the streets and social media will build it. So every first man that says, hey, fine girl, you are beautiful, they come running to them. So what do we tell these children that we are catching young in school? We tell them that when a man calls you, is it your name? They will tell you no. Then what do we say to them? We tell them that because you're beyond that. A fine girl, a fine boy is not your name. We had a story of a 13-year-old or a 10-year-old girl and a 15-year-old boy. A case we handled. He was going to buy something for she was going to buy something for the grandmother. And about 6:37 in the evening, a guy was standing in front of an uncompleted building and called her. And the girl said she turned and went there. And the guy forcefully dragged her into the uncompleted building and had carnal knowledge of her. And he brought out a blade and told her, do not tell anybody. I will pause here. That takes me to the next one. Are your children your friend? Do you allow them to express themselves? Unfortunately, the duty of a child is to speak. That's how God made it. There's power in their mouth. They may say things that are not relevant, things that doesn't matter for now, but one day they will say something quality that will make you have a peek into their private life. But unfortunately, it is called. Can we stop giving fake names to parts of the body? God gave us this private parts the way He gave us our eyes, nose, mouth, and every other part of the body. So why do we call some ush and call some well? Unfortunately, the devil is using this to fight this generation. You see, adults cannot even say what another adult did to them because daddy and mommy, the church they attended, the school they were in, have stopped them from calling it by the name. You hear things like Tom Tom for penis. PP, Tom Tom. Then imagine, yes sir, Jungle John, Jumbo Jumbo. Then you see a son coming to you and like, mommy, Auntie Temi touched my Tom Tom. And you're like, is that why you are crying? Go to my purse and take 5 naira and go and buy another Tom Tom. Because the intention of the child cannot be well communicated when the language used to pronounce this part of the body is not the real language. So we teach our children in schools to feel free to mention vagina as vagina, penis as penis, buttocks as buttocks, breast as breast, anus as anus. So that when uncle touches anus, you won't say, one place at the back or bum bum. Imagine a daughter coming to you and like, Uncle Ima touched my vagina. Do you know it's different from Uncle Ima touched my bum bum? You can say, he made a mistake. Maybe he was walking past and he brushed accidentally. But when he says, Mommy, Uncle Ima touched my vagina, I know heaven will let loose at that pronouncement. So what was I saying? This girl refused to tell the grandmother. And she was smelling, and the woman asked a lot of questions, then called in a nurse in the compound. And this nurse came in and like, what I'm saying is beyond me. Can you take this little girl to the hospital? So on getting to the hospital, a general hospital close to my jurisdiction, they examined her, and the doctor said, please, you have to go to the police station nearest to your house, make a complaint, and bring a medical paper. So on getting to the station, I knew what happened. When a doctor says, get a medical paper, we know the story. So we assigned officers to go with her. On getting to the hospital, one, she was infected with syphilis, and it has eaten up her uterus to her womb. Two, they are afraid that the damage to her organs might be a long-term one. I don't want to exaggerate things. So on getting to the station back, I asked her, who did this to you? Who failed you? And I noticed she was afraid to still talk. So I was counseling her that pedophiles, sexual molesters, sexual abusers, they are like a big man or woman with big body, but no engine, as in no brain. Just like an armed robber will not want to rob in his neighborhood and not have a face mask on. That's why the language they use is, this blade, I will cut you. If you tell anybody, I will kill you. Those are the languages they use because they don't want to be caught. So I encouraged her, and she opened up. Unfortunately, we got the boy arrested, 15 years old, in secondary school also. As I speak, he's in a juvenile prison in Delta State because age is not an excuse to commit crime, right? But something special came to me. I asked him, how old are you? He said 15. Apart from this girl, which other woman have you been with? And he said, he's been going to Ashau quarters, a brothel in an area in Warri. And I asked him, so why this girl? Why not go to the brothel you've been going to? As in, that one, it's not legal, but it's still better. And he said, my friends were mocking me that it's only Ashau I've been sleeping with. That do you have a girlfriend? So he wanted her to be the first. And at the end of the day, I discovered that failed family. I asked her, where is daddy? Daddy lives in Agbaro, a side of Warri. Where is mommy? Mommy lives in Big Warri, another side of Inner Warri. Oh, why are they living separately? Broken home. So we are the ones that failed the generation next. Because 75 to 80% of suspected persons brought into every police station on daily basis are products of broken home. Acts either by death or parent separation or a father is present but absent, they are products of broken home. And we keep shifting blames. If we want a better nation, I say this everywhere I'm privileged to speak, then we have to concentrate on family and raising godly and fearing children, God-fearing children that respect and believe in the nation Nigeria. Okay, I give this example, sorry, in rounding up. You see families, when you have maybe a child that is slightly stubborn, probably steals, or he doesn't obey, he doesn't listen to anybody, and you hear parents that wants Nigeria to be better, saying, when you grow up, you're too stubborn. Now police you go join. Only a nation working towards failure, doom, damnation, and destruction puts its security in the hand of a criminal. You guys said it earlier here, is police your friend? Yes, you gave us these men. They are not brought in from Canada, Ghana, Togo, Niger Republic. Our police officers are citizens of Federal Republic of Nigeria and product of every of your homes. Garbage in, garbage out. You gave them to us, we train, and we return back to you. The only difference is that a thief you give to us now learns how to handle weapons. So it comes back to you as an armed robber. If we're not taking anything away from this day and this family day, right? Let's take this home. Everywhere you need a change in the facet of our economy and governance in Nigeria, put your best. You want police to change? Please push forward the best in the family, the best in your community. When you hear that somebody, a tout in your neighborhood or a thief, is in training college. Nigerians, speak up. Can you speak up? How can leaders in position know children you are raising in your house? That's why we all are leaders. And the goodness of this country lies with us. You must shine your light, no matter how little. Nobody may be seeing you in your corner. Can you lend your lips to say, oh, my neighbor's son is a thief and is currently in police academy? Because it starts with parents gagging us. And if you have been seeing such and you are not talking, you see something, you will not talk something. You are a part of where we are in Nigeria. It's not leadership. It is you. It is me. Can we start speaking to have a better nation? Can we start speaking to have a better family circle?
Whoa! Please let's put our hands together for our police. Police is my friend now. Police is my friend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir.
You know, I've always wondered why a policeman gets drunk on duty and then he fires a lot more. Because we also like to see how can we support, how can we partner with you. I was saying to someone, I said, if I lived in Akwa, in fact, I was toying with the idea yesterday that maybe I want to move my office to Akwa Ibom. You know, because if I live in Akwa Ibom, one of the first things based on my experience of Akwa Ibom people, I think Akwa Ibom people naturally are very hospitable. So why don't we set up an institute that teaches people, how to be hospitable? Customer service, client service. I mean, the best client service people, customer service people are from your state. So why don't we set up that, and so that when you meet an Akwa Ibomite, things like clients, customer service, all those things, attitude are not an issue anymore, so that other states can come to your state and learn. And family life is also very key here, all right? And so why don't we have a bomb family school where you can train people? So those are I have ideas that I have interventions in my head all the time when I go to spaces. So can you tell us some of the things you're doing, and what are the gaps, what are the challenges, how can we help?
Okay, thank you so much. And I'll be very happy to have the conversation with you about opening your office in Akwa Ibom. So we'll be very happy to have you, your presence here more permanently. But to answer your question, I coordinate the office of the First Lady here in Akwa Ibom State. And that automatically means that I am the chairman of the Akwa Ibom State Drug Control Committee. So what we do is partner with other organizations, to help to sensitize on gender-based violence. We're so blessed in Akwa Ibom to have a governor that is not only gender-friendly, but provides a safe environment where women truly thrive. And he's not one that plays with any issues on gender-based violence. So we work with the police, we work with civil service, we work with them, Nigerian Drug Enforcement Agency, we work with a lot of institutions, to drive home sensitization against gender-based violence. As a matter of fact, I think last month, if I'm not mistaken, we had a case in a back local government of a man that had, injured a woman. And it went viral, I think all over Nigeria. People were, the video was trending. And so they took the man to court, and we went with a delegation of Akwa Ibom's finest women, and we went to court to show solidarity. We wanted to watch the proceedings and make sure that it wasn't swept under the carpet. And thank God for our justice system. The case is still in court, and we know that justice is going to be served. But this is just a typical example, to show that whenever there's a case against gender-based violence, whether it's for a man or a woman, but it's always more against women, let's be honest. Even as much as we say, oh yes, sometimes wives beat their husbands, but that's not as frequent or as dominant as, women suffering from gender-based violence. So what we do in the Office of the First Lady is to support these survivors. We try to encourage them, to let them know that their voices are heard, and if you have suffered gender-based violence, it's not for you to, get back into yourself when you're shell or be shy about it or ashamed to speak out. We support them, and we represent a safe space for them to know that we want to hear their stories. We're standing with them in solidarity. We support them. We have funding from United Nations Population Fund that help us to train these survivors. So what we do is to provide skills for them that they're able to thrive, stand on their own, they're able to now earn a decent living, they're able to mix with society, and we embrace them to let them know that this is not on you. There's no stigma, in as much as we know that from time past, there's usually stigma associated with these violence that doesn't make the survivors speak out. So what we try to do is to sensitize our society, our communities, and then we also engage the help of traditional rulers and other leaders in the community, faith-based organizations, so your churches, your mosques, to let them know that these are things that we frown upon and we need to speak against. So when everyone is standing in solidarity to condemn an act, then we find that those acts are getting less and less as the days go by. So what we try to do is just get a lot of funding, like you said. Where are the gaps? So the challenges we have is sometimes, again, the family unit, and it's even in a marriage. So sometimes a man will beat his wife. Then in the heat of, the abuse, she would come out, cry for help, and then neighbors would come in or the police, would get involved. And this same woman would be the one to turn around and say, oh no, please leave him alone. He's okay, has apologized. So we struggle with that. So when we do sensitizations, it's to let them know that these things are not acceptable. Don't smile on it, don't condone it. If a man hits you for whatever reason, then you have grounds to report. The justice system will back you. Don't take it back because you're afraid of, how can I survive on my own? And that's why the government of Akwa Ibom State does are very intentional about the policies and programs that just include the whole family. So when we're able to empower our youth, we're able to give skills to our youth or jobs to our parents, then we let women know. Women empowerment is one of the big thematic areas in the Golden Initiative for All, again, which is the vehicle that we use to, champion initiatives in the office of the First Lady. And what we do is empower women to let them know that, hey, even if you leave a man who's abusive, you have the skill and you have the power to be able to survive on your own and provide food and shelter for your children. Because this is usually the fear. If I leave this man, how do I survive on my own? So what we do is to create platforms that enable women to survive on their own when they step out of an abusive relationship or a marriage, whatever be the case. And so I think as a whole, with the Akwa Ibom State government, we're just more intentional about sensitizing our communities, about getting help and partnerships from all of our leaders, and making sure that people who suffer from gender-based violence understand that we see them, we hear them, we want their voices to be heard, and we're doing something to hopefully eradicate it completely from our societies.
Please, can you put your hands together for... I think some of us are having a shift, right? What we're used to is whether the coordinator of the office of the First Lady or the First Lady in many states come up, the speech is always prepared, right? But here we have a coordinator of the office of the First Lady speaking from her heart, right? She's not reading it. And I feel so proud to be a Nigerian listening to her. That, okay, finally, we have someone we can keep behind and say, okay, we know that, when we say God no go shame us, sometimes people feel shame you. This one, she know they shame us. She's so good. Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay, Akwa Ibom, you guys are blessed, though. You guys are making me feel very jealous. Dima, do we move here? I know you move. It's because of the food. It's not because of anything. You and Ronke Posh. Ronke will transfer you to Akwa Ibom. Okay. I'll come to you, police inspector, police officer. Now, I also want to know, how do we help you humanize Nigerian police? I tell you, I came back to the country last year, and I was driving in Lagos. And then at 8 p.m., these guys just, showed up in front of me with their guns. I was petrified because I wasn't used to that any longer. I was like, are they armed robbers? Then my driver said, oh, they are police. I said, well, why are they that aggressive? Right? There are things we've normalized. I see police in the US and other countries. They are not actively waiting to catch you and, jail you or, they are very friendly. You take pictures with them. The police superintendent in my county is my friend, right? How can we help humanize the Nigerian police? That's one. On the other end, I'm aware that, so like you said, some children, a child is in juvenile prison, and some people also go to prison. These have their times they come out. Have they been thoroughly transformed? How can we work with you to create interventions? Because in family system engineering, see, we can totally transform the most hardened criminal into what they need to be, right? We have all those tools. How can we support Nigerian police? Maybe even starting with some of your officers who, by virtue of just maybe accidentally getting into the police force, accidentally graduating, accidentally holding a rifle, waiting to accidentally discharge. How do we provide support to create some wholesomeness for them and maybe humanize Nigeria so that you can actually be a friend?
Okay. Already we're your friends. Okay. I feel the most potent instruments is training, retraining, advocacy, and getting the next generation. A lot of these people you're talking about, they're almost on their way out. And that's why we have things like Police Academy, where you could go, get trained as a graduate, and come out. I think level of education is part of the problem. And why did we go to schools? To catch them young on the right path. If I put myself, most cases when we get to schools, we ask, how many of you knows that police is your friend? You will see them, they will not raise their hand, just like you started here. Who wants to be a police officer? Maybe handful, one, two, that are not grown enough to understand what it means to be a police officer. Then after talking with them, I noticed that the orientation changes. The ideas in their mind changes. They now know that you can be a police officer and be decent. You can be a police officer and be dignified. So I feel we need to do more of mentoring the young generation, encouraging our best to come in. Then we'll have a best to present. And like I told you earlier, what are we doing? Encouraging our children to unmute their voices, to speak up, because their voice matters. I was privileged to be in a school, sometimes middle last year, and a child, after we left, was crying. And the classmate was like, why are you crying? He said, everything the DPO said is happening to me. But it's not a stranger. Then who? He refused to mention. Then the lady ran because we taught them, when you see something, say something so that we can do something together. We make them repeat this over and over, that we got their back. We are a safe space where you can speak. So she went, the friend now, not herself, went to meet the principal of the school and said, my friend in class, my desk mate, has been crying ever since DPO left. And she said everything the DPO said has been happening to her. So they called her and asked her questions. I was in another school when I got a call, like 2 days after, and like there's something they won't tell me. They don't know if the system is against this, but one of our children wants to speak up. I said, over what? They said, over what you said. So I said, bring her. So they brought her to the office. And I asked her, daughter, what's going on? And she told me, you will not believe this. My father has been sexually molesting me. I said, excuse you? He said, yes. That why I told my friend is because she said one day she came to my house and my father attempted the same thing on her, both 13 years. So with this, I sent for the sisters. I asked of their mother. Their mom is no longer living with their father, product of broken home, broken family. So the sisters came. And when they came on board, I asked them, do you know why your sister is there? They said they don't know. Then I asked a question. I said, if I tell you, just know that police has got your back. We are here for you. Your sister has been molested by your dad, and this has been happening for about 3 years, blah, 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 blah. And they started crying. I said, stop crying now. I told you I'm here. I will take care of her. If she has to go with me to the house, I will take her to the house. Just trying to encourage her. He said, Mommy, it's not so. I said, how is it? He said, Daddy has been molesting me. The eldest talking now. She's 24 since I was 12. It's on social media. If you Google Bright Edafe, my PRO Delta State. And the middle one was Thierry. I was like, how about you? And she said, she's 15. She said the father has been doing the same thing to her since she was 9. So a father sexually abusing his 3 children. As I speak to you, he's in prison. He's standing trial. But the same you, community parents, the same you, lawyers, the same you, we are the ones trying to cover it up. As I speak to you, the witnesses, the 3 girls, have been taken to unknown destination because we do not have structures in place to make people accountable for their crimes and criminality. The man is there. They are just waiting for the case to fail. Maybe we don't see witnesses, though it was recorded on video confessing to it. We're looking forward to a system where, by the grace of Almighty God, every child's life matters, every voice matters, every individual matters. When it happens to my daughter, everybody here will get up and speak for her in unison, so that before you know what's happening, we will stop having these cases of pedophile taking advantage of our young ones and a man beating the wife. So if every one of us here today takes this home, because I'm told that my time is up, make up your mind. From today, say anything where you see in our Niger Delta language, we go talk them so that we go get better Nigeria. No white man will come and repair your country for you. Nobody will build the nation Nigeria. It's in my hand and in your hand. And we'll start by building our image and character. And we have started already. I can't name the communities, places of worship. I go to churches. Like I have 2 programs in churches tomorrow. I have on Sunday, last Sunday, I have 2 churches. What are we talking about? Family life, youth program, women program. Once I see una gather like this, the zeal don't come. I must talk because I want a change. Do you desire a change? Do you want family system to actually work and engineer the whole system, Nigeria? Then speak up today. Be a part of the change you want to see.
Thank you very much. We have finally ended the session, but before I allow the First Lady to take a leave, I want her to face Africa and speak to the hearts of the families in Africa, because people are watching from all over. For the first time, we have people flying from Rwanda to be at this meeting. We have people from the US flying to be at this conference. I wanted to speak to their hearts about what we should become as a people. Just before we round up this, your final word.
I think I'm going to reiterate what the police officer said. So be your brother's keeper. See something, say something. And that's not just a cliche. Let's get back to communal living, communal parenting, where you see something happening with your neighbor and you say something about it and do something about it. Let's trust our justice system. It works in Akwa Ibom State. It's working in other parts of Nigeria. And it can only get better if we all play our parts. So I think it is important to reiterate again, she talked about systems. In Akwa Ibom State, there are structures and systems in place. We have helplines, hotlines, we have offices, we have systems that are structured to handle cases of domestic violence, cases of gender-based violence, cases of, theft and all of that. But because we're talking about family systems, we have structures that are in place. There's the Office of the Golden Initiative for All. There's the Office of the First Lady. There's the Governor's Office as well that handles these cases seriously. And I think it goes without saying that we have a system and a government that supports us, that supports family units. And so when you see something going wrong, please say something. Don't turn a blind eye and say it doesn't affect you, because tomorrow it may be you. So let's say something about the things that we're seeing around us, and Nigeria will indeed be a better place for us all. Thank you.
And on that note, we've come to the end of the Fireside
Let's put our hands together.
Let's put our hands together. Please let me welcome
Brilliant.
so that we can take a picture.
Brilliant. Let's do better than that. Let us do better than us. Let's put our